of consciousness connected with spirituality, with information, and with some of the work that you're doing now. When I'm doing a reading for a person, the guides and the angels will come in many different forms. The archangels usually present themselves just the way you imagine them, just the way you see them throughout religious literature and the pictures that you see in religious books. They usually have an incredible wingspan. I mean, huge wingspan. The archangels are usually 10, 12 feet tall, sometimes 50 feet tall. They're beautiful beings. Then other angels will appear, often female, but sometimes male, and they'll be smaller.
As you describe the psychic, if he sees angels, I would write him off at once, because you cannot see an angel. This is not the proper verb. It's like I saw a beautiful oratorio yesterday. You cannot speak like that about an angelic encounter.
Artist Carol Belials claims a psychic connection with angels. A personal relationship with the Archangel Michael plays an important role in her life and art.
I really have a very close connection with Saint Michael, and I feel his presence and energy. I can call on him for healing processes. I recommend him to many people who say they're ill.
Carol believes St. Michael's angelic protection is evidenced on the highway.
When you're driving on the Beltway for 1 hour or 45 minutes, and all of a sudden you wake up and you say, well, I almost missed my turn. I wasn't even aware of driving the car. And you become frightened and you wonder, well, what in the world is wrong with me? Well, that you have gone on the other side of the veil and your angels are helping you drive the car.
Well, when people say they've experienced angels, one has to ask, what is the experience? Some people experience a sense of presence. Well, the sense of presence is a well-known phenomenon that occurs again because of the way the brain processes information. If you're alone late at night in a library and there's no one else in the room, you may, if you become a bit nervous without realizing it, think there's someone behind you staring at you. That's a sense of presence.
When I was in Machu Picchu, I had laid down on the ground at sunset and taken a meditation and a contemplation and went deep into this feeling, which is an energy vortex there. When I woke up or came back and opened my eyes, I could see these large creator beings, the great Elohim, which are great angels, all around in large, they're very tall, enormous columns of light of beings. I felt very much in touch with them and great love from them.
I think that what adults sometimes do is to create, to believe in supernatural bodies that do for us what our parents once do. They protect us from the world. They make everything okay. It gives hope, it gives stability, it reduces anxiety. It tells people that even when things are going badly, that doesn't mean that things are out of control and that one will have one's salvation later on and everything will be just fine.
For the faithful, angels are a divine reality. But beyond the certainty of faith, is there any tangible evidence to support the existence of angels? How can we arrive at substantive conclusions about such ethereal beings?
Well, let me give you a scientific perspective on it. We human beings are physical, intelligent life. I would look at angels as spiritual, intelligent life.
Astrophysicist Dr. Hugh Ross believes that quantum physics defines a universe in which God and angels can and perhaps must exist.
I mean, we human beings are intelligent, we're physical, but we're confined to the matter, the energy, and the dimensions of length, width, height, and time that encompass the universe. Angels are intelligent beings, but they're not confined like we are to the space-time manifold. They can enter it, but they're not confined to it like we are.
Well, then it comes to a question, I guess, of personal theology. Does one believe or not? In terms of evidence, again, there's no evidence that angels exist, no evidence that they don't. What evidence could one produce? I think the onus is on the person who is trying to prove that angels exist to produce something.
The evidence I would give for the existence of God, of angels, of demons, of non-physical reality, first off, the Big Bang Theory and the theory of relativity. Okay, just to summarize, in 1929, Edwin Hubble demonstrated that galaxies indeed were expanding away from one another, just as Einstein's equation predicted. Einstein looked at those results and said, therefore, my equation is correct. Therefore, the universe indeed is exploding, hence it's got a beginning, therefore a beginner. Thus, there must be this superior reasoning power that's responsible for the existence of the universe. And then if God has the power to create this universe, what's stopping him from creating beings to exist with him in non-physical reality? So we have to allow that it's least scientifically possible.
If we want to look at how science can investigate angels, we really have to, I think, ask the question, can science investigate unicorns? Because from the point of view of science, there's no evidence that either one exists. How would you investigate a unicorn? If people say they see them, you might look for tracks, but if you don't find any tracks, people may say, but unicorns don't leave tracks. Don't compare them to cows and sheep. Unicorns are different. What about angels? If suddenly angels were supposedly doing miraculous things, then I suppose one would say, okay, there's something going on here. How do we explain it? One theory is an angel's doing it. Let's look at that. But in fact, the claims made for angels are not so dramatic, and in general, as far as I know, don't lend themselves to any kind of critical scientific investigation.
I've been involved with the spirits and the world of spirit ever since the day I was born.
Psychic Vincent Munden claims an ability to channel angels. Here he channels an ancient angelic spirit he calls Khan.
Many times, peoples from all of this earth plane have asked us to come to be with them and to share with them. The realms where the angels come from are vast. We give this advice. Live your life in harmony with the world that surrounds you and the world you live in. If you do this, you are living your life as it was asked of you. Khan is one of the most educated, understanding angels that I've ever had the pleasure of working with, meeting, seeing, and believing in.
Well, I think everybody needs to believe in something, and I think angels fill that bill very nicely for a lot of people for a variety of reasons. They are very popular these days primarily because they provide a user-friendly version of the supernatural. This is what the basic religious urge is all about. They start with a sense that there's something wrong with humanity as we're naturally constituted, and we overcome that wrongness by somehow making the proper connections with higher beings or powers.
It astonished me that of all subjects to become suddenly popular, angels came up on the screen, so to speak, because this is something to be expected amongst church people, but not at all amongst the average intelligent student.
Age-old belief in angels has been challenged by the advance of modern science and technology, yet angels have kept their heavenly hold on human hearts and minds. Through psychological study and deeper exploration of religious myth, scientists and theologians, believers and skeptics, gain a greater understanding of the core relationship between humans and angels. Angels, whether real or imagined, symbolize a fundamental human yearning for transcendence.
As we rush towards the millennium, things are more in flux than they ever were before. So people are looking towards guidance. People are looking for something to give them hope and give them joy. But I think this joy of angels reflects a yearning for goodness, for the divine, someone to be a caretaker, for a guardian spirit, I think it's a yearning for protection. And maybe it's this yearning and this need that's creating the very angels that are manifesting themselves today.
For untold millions around the globe, a belief in the presence and power of angels is part of daily life. For skeptics, however, real evidence is as intangible as the very angels whose existence they cannot prove or disprove. Ultimately, even in our modern age, belief in angels is what it has always been, not a fact of science, but an act of faith.
I had a dream and woke up my husband and I said, oh, a volcano is going to erupt.
Look,
there really isn't anything going on there.
The people getting the results are the people who are the believers.
Skeptical scientists certainly have reason to be doubtful.
One of the first dreams I recorded was a dream predicting that Kennedy is going to be shot.
It's a world where anything can happen. We can fly through the air, hold conversations with friends halfway across the world, or with long-dead relatives. Witness events that happened centuries ago or have yet to take place. It's the world of our dreams. Can dreams tell us of events before they happen? Are they a sixth sense, a means by which we can communicate with others? Or are they just the confused and fractured images generated when our minds are at rest?
I do